This is going to be Leipzig Roses 4-2-2, obviously a bit of a more of a narrow system. Leipzig, one of my favourite teams in world football, up the Red Bull, we love to see it. If you do enjoy the tactics on this channel, please do leave a like on the video, it helps the video out massively in the algorithm. And if you do enjoy myself that much, come and subscribe, turn on the notification bell, where of course you get loads of tactics being publicised to you. I've also got a rebuild channel you can check out in the description, and covering everything on FM, we are everywhere. Let's get into it, let's waste no more time. Today it's going to be PC, console and mobile, as usual. Let's get into it. First up, RB Leipzig, my team. We love to see it, and we enjoyed a fantastic season. We win the Bundesliga, the Champions League, by the way. We got spoon-fed a couple of fixtures, I'll be honest, and the final was very dramatic against AC Milan. The Pokal we are going to win against Freiburg in 5-1 fashion. We also do win the Bundesliga quite convincingly, actually, over the likes of Bayern and Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund having a very poor season. Sesko and Openda contributing with 46 goals and 22. Sesko is a little bit broken in FM, though. He also averages the highest average rating. Xavi Simons in second and Klosterman in third. Dani Olmo the most assists. I wonder where he's going to go in the summer. Definitely to a top team, that is for sure. And David Raum picking up 12 assists as well. Team stat-wise, of course, we are going to have a little look. It's going to be most points per game at 2.5. The most goals at 101, the fewest shots against at 229, the most shots at 635, absolutely remarkable. The most clean sheets and the fewest conceded coming in at 26. So just from looking at this alone, you can see we're defending well, but we're ripping lots of shots off at goal, and we're actually outscoring the likes of Bayern, Dortmund and Freiburg, who, by the way, can score quite a fair few goals. So we're going to take that and move on very, very swiftly. What a season that is. Data hub-wise, it is going to be 2.97 goals per game, only 0.76 conceded, over 18.6 shots a game, an 88% pass completion, an attack win ratio of 78.10. Now, there is not a single weak stat across the board in this data hub. It's quite the good start. Look, we've got to watch the Champions League final. It was a very dramatic one. We actually got off to a decent start here. A great flick on from Openda. A great give and go between him and Sesko. The two up front system works very well with a team like Leipzig. Pulisic puts a great ball in, to be fair to him. It's an awful clearance. Tomori into Kalou, and there's nothing too much Kalulu, sorry. Not much we can really do in that situation. And again, it's very, very scrappy. Two set pieces there. We actually made it a lot more hard than what it needed to be. But at this point, I will say I did switch from the attacking variant, or from the normal to the attacking variant. So just to make that clear that I do use all three and not just stick to this one, I do switch as I test, especially in a Champions League final. This is where I switched, and the change was mental. We actually equalised in the 71st minute, a set piece of our own, quite a good one as well, and we win it from a penalty from Sesko in the 85th minute. The Champions League belongs to Leipzig. We then go and test with the feeder club to Leipzig. That is going to be RB Salzburg, obviously over in the Austrian Premier Division, but we win the Austrian FA Cup there in very comfortable fashion, in 4-1 fashion to be exact. Got to the round of 16 in the Champions League. I will take it. Unfortunately, we are never going to beat Real Madrid. Let's be realistic. The league, though, was very convincing. I mean, we lost, what, 0 games. Literally 100% win rate. You cannot complain at all. 22 out of 22. I know they're a powerhouse in the league, but let's just still be real. 22 out of 22 is very, very good. We're going to be featuring first and second. Kanate, by the way, if you've not signed him, get him in your save. He is remarkable. We're going to be first, second and third with the average rating, and first and second with the assists, the most clean sheets, the most player of the matches. We are the strongest team in the division, and yeah, as you can see here, we're going to be pretty convincing. Most points per game, most goals, fewer shots against, most shots, most possession, most dribbles, fewest conceded, and the most clean sheets. We are literally doing everything. We are a very strong team, but of course we need a powerhouse in the video, and this is going to be your powerhouse. The data hub is going to be 3.28 goals per game, only 0.5 conceded, 21 shots a game, an 88% pass completion, an attacker win ratio of 79.06. Again, there is not a single weak stat. And of course, we're going to showcase the cup final. To be fair, it was actually quite a convincing one, you know, not really too much to worry about. As you can see, going down the play here, I mean, that is some sweet football. Jokes aside, it's not really a tiki-taka tactic, but that looks like it. It's absolutely incredible. Dedic down the right-hand side into Soleil, ball in the box, little flick on actually is completely different. That's beautiful as well. From the right to the left within seconds, into the middle, and a great finish. And we're going to go again. You know the rules here. Oh, guys, sound like a TikToker now. Dedic back post and a great header into the far right corner. And to be honest, when you're playing this good football, they may as well not even be on the field. To the outside, into Glau. This team produces some incredible plays, by the way. Some of this 11, you got Dedic, you got Soleil, you got, mate, the players in this team are Salzburg just spawning in wonder kids. Now, the biggest shock of the video is Aston Villa, a team that are good. Do not shoot me, any Villa fans, but not this good. We absolutely transformed them as a team. We won the Conference League, which isn't the biggest trophy I know, doesn't even really count as a European trophy. We do beat Rennes 2-1 in the final, but we win the Premier League in quite convincing fashion. Now, Arsenal, decent season. United, very good for them. Liverpool, awful season. City, awful season. We just had a great time. Diaby, incredible player. Second place. Watkins, incredible player. Third place. First and second when it comes to the average rating. And this sort of 4-2-2 system really suited Villa down to a T. I wasn't expecting it to do so, but I do know Diaby was playing up front for a lot of it alongside of Watkins, and they absolutely cooked. Stat-wise, we are going to see the most points per game, the most goals, the most shots for. Possession-wise, we're not going to be in there. I will show that because it's not a possession-based tactic. Fewest conceded coming in. We're going to be joint with, obviously, Manchester United. That surprises me, considering the amount of shots they face in real life. And the most clean sheets, we're going to be joint fourth with Liverpool, not Manchester United, who, by the way, Manchester United seem to be very good defensively in this game. Can we have some of that in real life? I would take it with a pinch of salt any day. Data hub wise, it is going to be 2.66 goals per game, 0.79. So again, the goals have dropped a little bit, but you've got to appreciate we are now in the Premier League with a slightly weaker team compared to obviously a Salzburg. The pass completion is still good, the tackle win ratio is still excellent, and we're still ripping over 17 shots a game. You can't really complain. Didn't mean to rhyme. Is what it is. We'll watch the Conference League final, despite me saying it doesn't count as an actual European trophy. I guess it is something for Aston Villa. That is one wacky driven ball in, which Watkins is going to claim. Don't know if he even got a touch on that. They do bounce back, to be fair, quite quickly after with some very good play. A great ball, quite a direct approach, but it worked very, very well. But of course, we bounce back in the 61st minute, still using the default tactic. Diaby is going to cut it back into Moreno, into Kamara, and wow. Yeah, we need that match engine update. And lastly, by far the weakest team in the video, that is going to be 17th place predicted Alte. Obviously coming in the second Turkish division. We did not win the league. We were 4 points off, but we did get promoted. And considering how weak of a team they are, almost predicted to finish in rock bottom, I'm going to happily take that. We only lost 3 games in the entire season. Quite harsh we didn't win the league. But of course, Karoum come in and put in quite a good performance. Now, in terms of the stats, we're not going to feature in loads, so it is going to be the most goals, or joint, obviously, with second place. The most shots, we are going to dominate, or not dominate, convincingly. I'm not going to use the word dominate. We've done okay in that regard. Possession-wise, we are going to be in 7th place on this occasion. It's nothing to write home about, to be honest with you, but just to showcase you can use it with a smaller team. You're not going to dominate much of the ball at all, but you are still going to be very competitive when it comes to the goal scoring side. Data hub-wise, I've not actually seen this. It is going to be 2.29 goals every single game, 0.94 conceded, 15 shots a game, and a great pass completion. Quite good stats for a team like Alte, to be honest with you. Definitely designed more for, I would say, the Premier League, Bundesliga, because I feel like you can really take over with this formation. 2 strikers up front has been great in FM for years, so I don't think you can really go wrong with it. But let's watch some highlights with the famous Alte. Game of the season, we actually went 1-0 down quite early on in this fixture. In the 27th minute, you can see there we lose it at the back, quite poor from us. Bit of a direct approach, and Mamba does get the header, but we turn around and we bounce back, as we always do. Down the right-hand side, now cutting it back into the middle, is going to be Diniz into the bottom left-hand corner to tie it up 1-1, and we actually take the lead before half-time with another set-piece throw-in, little give-and-go, and a ball in the box, and a fantastic header, by the way, to make it 2-1, and we wrap up the complete tie in the 49th minute to make it 3-1. Great bit of play from side to side, who goes alone, and it is going to be a beautiful finish. We'll take it. Of course, going to cover you boys on console and mobile as well. Of course, these are Patreon exclusives. You can join in the description below, where you obviously get access to both of those files. Now, what I will say here is we are going to test with Salzburg. I know they're a very strong team, but on console, it wasn't as easy to get the tactic cooking. It does work very well, but it is slightly better on PC. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you boys. I'm not going to try and falsely get you boys to come over. It does work on console, but on PC, it just cooks that a little bit more. The league table you can see right now, we actually did have a very good time. 17 wins, 2 draws, and 3 losses. It is with a great team in the league. I'm not going to sit here and say we massively overachieved, because it is to be expected. The data hub, though, did look quite good, to be fair. 2.59 goals per game, which is quite good for console. 1 goal a game, 17 shots a game. Quite decent. Pass completion at 86%. Tackle win ratio 79.14. If you go through the schedule right now, it's quite, because we were cooking at the start of the season. I mean, 7-0 in the actual first game, and there were a few drop-off matches you can see here, but as a general rule, I mean, we actually were winning most of the games, so I'll include that in a video. You can decide whether you think it's worth coming over or not, but I will say you definitely can get this cooking. But I think, honestly, on console, you can't play the exact same way, which you will see, obviously, if you are a Patreon member. It's quite restricted. Of course, over to your favourite part of the video. If you are enjoying so far, be sure to leave a like below and subscribe. And if you enjoy myself that much, you can hit the notification bell where you're never going to miss another post again. Of course, we are the home of FM Tactics. And if you like rebuilds, you can check out my other channel up there somewhere, if I remember to put it in. But of course, I want to also thank all of the wonderful people coming down the screen. Over 3,200 of you boys right now. Again, you get over 13 perks, including access to all 3 of these tactics today. You get the mobile tactic and the console tactics. You get the tactics early. You get priority in the tactic requests and the rebuild files. You also get one-on-one tactical help. You get access to the monthly giveaway, which by the time this goes live, the new one will be live, which is £200 plus in gift cards. So come over, get involved. Definitely worth doing it in the link below. The goalkeeper is going to be set onto the sweeper keeper on attack. Now, I do want to quickly say before I rush into this, this system is very unique, but it is the way Leipzig play in real life, and there are some roles you can change, because I know some people won't have a half-back they can use, so we're going to take a little bit more time today, because I am going to go over potential different changes you could make. So the sweeper keeper, everyone can use a sweeper keeper, simply on attack. It's very important he is on attack to replicate the system. The complete wingback on attack, on take more risks, cross more often, and dribble more on the run right as well, on the right and the left back role as well. Now, I will say for these, I wouldn't recommend changing this to any other role. If you really can't play a complete wingback, if you've got no one that can play it, you could play just a wingback, but in my opinion, the complete wingback represents the tactic a lot more and it works a lot more better, so I wouldn't really advise changing it. Ball playing defenders are simply both going to be on defend, both on stay wider as well. The halfback comes in. Now, if you haven't got a halfback that you can use, you can of course go with something like an anchor. That would work really, really well. Other than that, maybe a DM, but definitely first priority would be a halfback, then an anchor, then a DM. But if you can, stick to the exact tactic because it does cook. The DM next to it is going to be on support, on tackle harder. Quite a defensive pairing in the midfield here when it comes to the deeper area of the 4-2-2, because going forwards, I want them to have a lot of attacking sort of freedom. You know, go about, roam about, create chance of the 2 strikers. These lads here can protect that back 4. The advanced playmaker on the right is on support, on dribble more, roam from position, and move into the channels. And on the left, it's going to be an attacking midfield player on support, on dribble more, get further forwards, roam, and of course move into the channels. So quite similar. The advanced playmaker obviously going to be a little bit more pushed up on the right-hand side. And going up to the 2 strikers, funny enough, the advanced forward on the right is going to be on attack on run wide with the ball, and the advanced forward on the left is simply going to be on the default instruction. To the team instructions. Set to the custom gegenpress on the positive mentality. We are going to go right in with fairly wide, pass into space, overlap left and overlap right. You need to have this on, guys, because then wingbacks need to get involved to actually make this tactic work. So you need to have that on. Focusing the play through the middle while playing out from the back is an absolute necessity. We're going to keep this to standard, or on your screen it will say slightly shorter. We're going to max out the tempo. It is a very intense gegenpress tactic. We're going to run at defense and we're going to have mixed crosses on. So this tactic, as you can see from the team instructions, is very fast-paced, very run at defense-esque, going to be quite aggressive, counter-attacking based, and it will score lots of goals. You're not going to have very high levels of possession, being honest with you boys, but it is a lot of fun to play with, and if you've got 2 good strikers, you're going to absolutely smoke everyone. In transition, nice and simple, we're going to go with counter-press, counter, distribute quickly, play to the centre-backs while taking short goal kicks. Literally set up for the perfect counter-attack. And lastly, and of course a much needed set of instructions, the high defensive line, the high press line of engagement, step up more, get stuck in, prevent short goal distribution, and much more often. That's going to be your first variant, but do stick around because you sort of need all 3 for this one, because they do play quite different and you can't play an entire season just using this one. This one sort of transforms it from being kind of counter-attacking to just an absolute attack and powerhouse, because there's a lot more attacking-esque on this sort of tactic approach. The goalkeeper remains the same. The complete wingback on the right and the left also remain the same, as does the both of the ball-playing defenders. We cannot have the ball-playing defenders as liberos or as dribble more, because that would be way too overkill, as now we introduce a volante who's going to be a little bit more attacking than, of course, the halfback, on get further forwards and move into channels. The DM does remain the same. We definitely can't opt for 2 volantes in this system because it would be way too attacking. We then change to a shadow striker on the right and the left, both on run from position. Naturally, I did try these, obviously, sort of a bit more wider, as in actually having wingers, but watching Leipzig, they definitely don't start out with wingers. They sort of stay in the middle, then they might naturally drift out wide, but they don't have wingers from the default, so we're not going to be unrealistic. We're going to keep it as the shallow strikers. The advanced forward on the right, of course, have run wide, and the default on the left-hand side, but with the addition of the shallow strikers, the goals go from here to here. They really get involved and they contribute massively with scoring the goals. Team instructions, again, custom gegenpress on the attacking, so not positive, attacking for the attacking tactic, fairly wide, pass into space, overlap left, overlap right, focus through the middle and play out from the back. Standard, the higher tempo, be more expressive, is going to come in and run at defence, is going to really maximise the attacking qualities of this tactic. And we, of course, we are going to have mixed crosses in the final third. In transition, it's going to be counter press, counter, distribute quickly, and take long goal kicks. Now, the reason I've gone with long goal kicks instead of short goal kicks and playing it to the centre-backs is because we have got a lot of players up that field now. We've got 2 shadow strikers and 2 strikers. I'm not going to purposely say over opposition defence, but just take long goal kicks. We've got a lot of players up the field, we may as well get it up there. And lastly, out of possession, the higher defensive line, the high pressing line of engagement, step up more, get stuck in, prevent short goal distribution, and of course much more often. Now, I've given you an attacking variant, you sort of need one to defend. Let's go to it. And now this is for you boys that are defending out your games. If you've got a goal up, 2 goals up, you think, do you know what, my players are shattered, I need to calm them down, we've got to introduce a bit more of a possession-based 4-2-2, and that is going to be the same goalkeeper. The complete wing-backs on the right and the left are simply both going to be on the default, nothing crazy, they're not going to be flying forward, nice and simple. 2 ball-playing defenders who are both going to be on stay wider, because although they are obviously on the supportive role, the default is going to mean they are still going to get somewhat forward. So the 2 ball-playing defenders still need to be staying wider. The halfback on the left is going to be on defend, on pass at shorter, and next to him is going to be the DM on defend, on pass at shorter, and of course tackle harder. This is going to be a very defensive midfield too, and something which I think works very, very well to protect that back 4 very, very comfortably. Going up the field is going to be the attacking midfield player on the right, on support, on pass at shorter, and exactly the same for the left. Now, what's going to happen with all these players being on pass at shorter is absolute madness when it comes to possession. You're going to dominate in this treble 2. This lovely sort of box form on here is going to be amazing. The advanced forward on the left remains the same, and we're not going to have him on stay wider on this occasion. 2 advanced forwards, both on the default. But going over to them team instructions is going to be based off the gegenpress again, but of course this time the mentality is not going to be attacking or positive. It's going to be set to balanced. Standard, pass into space, focus the play through the middle only, no overlapping. We're going to dominate the ball by focusing the play through the middle. Shorter, a slightly lower tempo, and mixed crosses. Nothing else selected. A much more possession-orientated way of playing football, which isn't going to score as many goals, but will grind out that result you're desperately craving. In transition, it's going to be counter press, nothing selected for counter or hold shape, and we're going to play to anyone across the back line on this occasion, while taking short goal kicks, because they're all going to be quite composed, all going to be an option from a goal kick. We may as well play the safe option and play to any of them. And lastly, out of possession, the high defensive line, the high pressing line of engagement, standard, and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. And that's going to give you boys 3 variants of the Marco Rose 4-2-2 Leipzig tactics. What a guy he is. We'd love to see it. If you boys have enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you do want to check out the Patreon, you can do so in the description below. There's over 3,000 people, so you can get your hands on some pretty cool perks. But hopefully, you've enjoyed it. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.